Okay. All right, guys. So this is where we stopped on the labels the other day. All right. So this was we're at the labels that diltiazem. Okay. So it says diltiazem HCl tablets, 0.12 grams POTID for a patient with a stable angina. So first off, what is our milligrams of our tablets? Well, here we go. It says 120 milligrams, right? Same here, 120 milligrams. So we have 120 milligrams in one tablet, okay? I'm just putting that down for you so you can see, okay? All right, well, don't pay attention to this because look, it says 3 times a day up there, don't it? Well, don't pay attention to that. You just do what your order says. Now, would you question this order because it says once a day dosage? Yes, you would question that. You would go to the doctor and say, hey, this is supposed to be given once a day, or do you mean to give this 3 times a day? And if the doctor says yes, then you make him aware of that. You make a note in the chart stating that the doctor was notified, he confirmed the order, and he is what he wants to give. Now, you would have to monitor the patient's blood pressure throughout the day, so that would be on your part to do that. But anyway, we're going to continue. So, it says 0.12 grams POTID for a patient. Okay, well we know that this 120 milligram tablet equals 0.12 grams, right? Because we're moving milligrams to grams, okay? So if we have 120 milligrams, we're converting that over to grams. So first we're going to do 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams, okay? Because we're looking for grams, right? So we're converting, all right? So 1 gram equals 1,000, we got 0.12 grams, okay? That would give you over X. So 0.12 divided by 1,000. Now, you're going to get this number. Right back. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. So what are you going to do? Well, so it's looking for grams. You've got to convert the grams, but do we want to convert to milligrams? Yes. So what would we do? We convert to milligrams. All right? So, because we've got 120 milligram tablets, we don't want to do grams because it's a decimal. It's 0.12. That's a small number. We want to make it that number this. So we're looking to milligrams. How many milligrams is 0.12 grams, right? So we're looking for milligrams. So we know 1,000 milligrams is in 1 gram. Okay, well they give you 0.12 grams over X. What do you get? $120 over 1, that gives you 120 milligrams per tablet. They already gave you that. So you really know, if you just know how to convert your zeros, that's going to be 120 milligrams, okay? Now, so what's the dose for the day? Well, if you got 120, if you know 0. Equals 0.12 grams, okay? So how many, so we know when that's 1 capsule, right? So how many capsules are you going to give for the day? So 120, because TID equals 3 times a day, okay? All right, so you want to work it out? How many capsules a day? Capsules, right? Okay, so we're looking for caps. All right, so 1 cap equals 120 milligrams, okay? You got 120 milligrams. So how many? So you're gonna look for 360 because 3 of those a day is what? 360. So what's 360 divided by 120? Equals 3 caps. Okay? Now, I will give you this. If you want to do it this way, that's a long way of doing it. For capsules, it's a little easier to do, okay? Because they give you just got to convert. So we got 0.12 grams, okay? POTID. Well, 0.12 grams. How are we going to convert that over? How are we going to convert that to milligrams? We're going to move the decimal. 1, 2, 3. That gives you 120 milligrams. Okay? If I see you do this on the test, and I see you do that, then I see you go 120 milligrams times TID. What's TID? 3 times equals what? 360 divided by 3, that gives you, divided by 120, that gives you 3. Alright? 3 capsules. Okay, guys, just convert the 0.12 into 120. You got it equals the same. It's 120 grams equals 120 milligrams. You got a 120 milligram capsule. How many capsules are you going to give a day? 3. Okay? Alright, next one. Benadryl elixir. Alright, Benadryl elixir. So you've got, I think we went over this one already. We did this one already. I will do it again for you though, okay? So, I'm going to write it down here. You've got Benadryl elixir, 15 milligrams PO, okay? Now, dose, adults, 2 to 4 teaspoons per day. Children over 20 pounds, 1 to 2 teaspoons a day, 3 or 4 times daily, all right? All of these can be given 3 to 4 times daily, okay? All right, because it says adults 2 to 4, children 1 to 2, 3 or 4 times daily. That's your general instructions, okay? So first we've got, you can't see it real well. Well, just you look in your slides. It's 12.5 here. It's 12.5 milligrams diphenhydramine hydrochloride in each 5 mLs. So you got 12.5 milligrams over 5 mLs. Okay? They're giving you 15 milligrams. Sorry, going backwards. You got 5 mLs over 12.5 milligrams, right? Okay? Because they gave you 15 milligrams. We're looking to see how many mLs is going to be in that 15 milligrams. All right? So 15 milligrams, milligrams. What do you get? 75 over 12.5. And how many times is 12.5 going to 75? So that gives you 6 mLs. Okay? Because they're on orders 15 milligrams, but you got 12.5 milligrams per 5 mLs. So you know it's not too much more mLs than that, because one 15 milligrams is just a little over 5. Okay? All right. So that's first type. That's what your dose is going to be. That's your dose for Benadryl extra, 6 mLs of Benadryl, okay? All right, so 6 mLs of Benadryl is your dose. However, is it in the safe range? Well, we don't know, right? We don't know if it's in the safe range. So remember, 6 mLs is what we get. 6 mLs is our order. Okay. So, adults, 2 to 4 teaspoons a day. Well, remember, 2 to 4 teaspoons, 3 or 4 times a day. All right? Well, let's look to see. Is 6 mLs in between, how many teaspoons is in 6 mLs? One teaspoon equals 5 mLs, right? They give you 6 mLs as your order over X. 6 divided by 5 is what? 1.2. So 1.2 teaspoons right there. Well, depending on your age, for an adult, would that be enough? No, because it's 2, right? But for a kid, yeah, you're in a safe range, right? 1.2 teaspoons. But it doesn't say up there how many times a day either, so don't worry about that. You're just trying to figure out, is that 6 mLs within range? Well, it depends on who it is, right? If it's adult, no, because you ain't gonna feel nothing. Maybe a little sleepy, okay? All right, guys, that's that one. Again, I'm not gonna make these hard for you guys, trust me, okay? I'm gonna make it where you can understand it. Next one. This one here just shows you how it's done. 30 milligrams, 60 milligram dose equals how many tablets? 1 tablet equals 30 milligrams. Okay? They give you 60 milligrams. How many tablets is it gonna be? That's gonna be 2 tabs. Very easy, guys. 60 milligram dose, there's 30 milligram tablets. How many times does 30 go into 60? 2. All right? Period, here we go. All right, next one. Suprax. The dosage is 100 milligrams per 5 mLs. 100 milligrams per, I'm going to do it this way because we're not doing the equation yet. Per 5 mLs. Okay, that's how you would see it written. Okay, I'm going to put it in a fraction form because it would confuse you guys. That's how you would see it written, like on the order or something. Okay, like you see it here. Okay. All right, so it's asking you, cefiximine oral suspension is 0.2 grams every 12 hours for a patient with otitis media. Okay, so with 0.2 grams every 12 hours. Well, we got 100 milligrams here, right? We want to make that big, we want to convert that over to milligrams because 0.2 is hard to divide by and multiply and all that. You want a bigger number. So we're going to 0.2 grams. And how many times we move the decimal? If it's grams to milligrams, it's 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. So that gives you 200 milligrams, right? So we know 0.2 grams equals 200 milligrams, right? Because we just moved that decimal over 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. That gives you 200. Okay? All right. Well, now we got our equation. So we're looking for how many? I'm going to say how many doses a day. Okay? First, we're going to find out what your dose is in mLs first. Okay? So first, we're going to find out. You got 100 milligrams per 5 mLs. Well, the order is for 200 milligrams, right? Or 0.2 grams, but we converted it to 200 milligrams every 12 hours. Well, how many mLs am I going to give that patient? Well, all right, so we're looking for mLs, right? So the first one goes mLs, okay? All right, so we know 1,000 mLs is in, sorry. I already did that. We got 1,000 or 5 mLs. Okay, 5 mLs. 5 mLs over 100. Okay, so 5 mLs over 100 milligrams. Well, they give you 200 milligrams, right? So 200 milligrams here, because that's our given dose, over X. 5 times 200 is what? Five times 200 is 1,000 over X. So what's 100 divided by 10? Or 100 divided by 1,000. I just gave you an answer. It is 10 mLs. Okay? Because 100 milligrams and 100 milligrams is 200 milligrams. 5 and 5 is 10. So whatever you're doing, you just double that. Okay? That's your answer, 10 mLs. So how many mLs a day would we give? Well, easy, guys. And I would, how many mLs a day? It's every 12 hours. How many times does 12 hours go into a day? 2 times. 2 times 10 is what? 20 mLs a day. Okay? So we're looking for how many doses? I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. I'm not going to do that. Okay? That's easy for you guys to figure out. You should know how many times, how many 12 hours is in 24. Okay? There's your equation. Now they put that extra step in there where we already converted it. So, but if you want to convert it, that's how you do it. Okay? I did it the simpler way. I just converted it before I did all that. All right? Okay. All right. Here we have mixturazole. This is a fungal medication. All right. Fake elixir solution is orally 0.5 grams QID. All right. So you have grams, milligrams. What are we going to do? We're going to convert that 0.5 grams to what? Milligrams. We're going to convert to milligrams because this is our given dose. We're looking for how many mLs is in this because they give you how many grams they want, but this is elixir, so we got to figure out how many mLs in a minute. Okay. But first we got to convert this. We're going to convert that 0.5 grams to milligrams. So how are we going to do that? Well, let me show you how they did it before. Okay. Let me show you how it was done a minute ago. So we're going to do. I'm looking for mLs. So we got 5 mLs over. We're looking for mLs. Is that in the picture? So we're looking for mLs, right? Okay. So mLs is here. That's what we're looking for. So remember, it goes first on your first line for 5 mLs, and we got 350 milligrams. Well, now we're going to bring up milligrams to here. That gives you what? 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. Okay? Because we got grams, so we're going to bring up that gram here because it gives you 0.5 grams over X. 0.5 grams here over X. So we multiply across. 5 times 1,000 is 5,000 times 0.5. Equals 2,500. Okay? Then 350 milligrams times 1 is what? 350. Okay? So now what we do? 2,500 divided by 350 equals 7.142. 7.142. So that would give you 7.142. Now which where are we going to measure? Can you measure on a measuring cup 0.142? No, you can't. So you got to go to the nearest 100, which is right here. So we're going to take that 2, make it away, because remember it's between 0 and 4. We don't round up, right? All right, we don't round up. So because it's between 0.4, so we leave it right there. That's what you get. That's your 7.14 mLs for 0.5 gram dose. Okay? All right? Okay? Get that? All right. Now, if it's QID, how many mLs a day is that patient going to get? Well, what's QID? 4 times a day. Okay? So QID, we got to know what QID is. It's 4 times a day. Okay? So we got 7.5 or 7.14 over 1 dose. Okay? Then you have 4 doses over X. Because we know QID is 4, right? What's 7.14 times 4? 28.56 mLs per day. Okay, get that? Because we have 7.4 mLs, that's what we figured out up here. Well, we know that's 1 dose. Well, to figure out how many doses we're going to give a day is 28.56, because we do 7.4 mLs over 1 day. We bring the day up, because they give you 4 times a day, okay? Or 4 doses, and then that would be X. That gives you your 28.56, okay? All right. All right. Okay. Thorazine injection. Uh-oh, this is an injection. What's the difference in injections? Are they solids or liquids? They're mL, see? So they're liquids, okay? So now we gotta figure out 35 milligrams, okay? IM TID. Well, where's our dosage? This right here tells me this is a 10 ml vial. Only. It's a 10 ml vial. This has nothing to do with your equation. So don't even worry about this. Just is telling you how much is in that vial, okay? But we gotta look up here to our dosage. Right here, 25 milligrams per ml. Okay, 25 milligrams per ml. Okay, so we don't have to convert this one, right? Because they got 25 milligrams per ml here, they're giving you 35 milligrams here. So what do? I'm looking for mLs, correct? Correct. So mLs first. mLs, right? We know 1 ml is 25 milligrams. They're asking you how many mLs is in 35 milligrams. So we bring 35 milligrams here because remember milligrams come up here because that's what we do. Up, okay? Diagonal. X, what do you get? 35 over 25 gives you what? .4 mLs. Makes sense? Because you got 25 milligrams per 1 ml. Well, the difference between 25 and 35 is only 10. It's not another full dose. So you know it's only 1 ml plus a little bit more mLs. And it gives you 1.4 mLs. If you get anything larger than that, you know it's wrong because there's only 25 milligrams per ml. They've only ordered 35 milligrams. So we only know, if we know 25 milligrams per 1 ml, that's not going to be in a whole nother ml. Okay? Alright. Do it the way I just wrote it. 1 milliliter equals 25 milligrams. They give you 35 milligrams over X. 35 divided by 25 is 1.4 mLs. Okay? That's one dose. That's one dose. Now, they've ordered this 3 times a day. Alright, so I have, how many mLs am I going to get, how many doses am I going to give throughout the day? Well, how many times, what is TID? TID equals 3 doses, or 3 times a day. Well, not doses, 3 times a day. Or 3 doses, okay? We know that's 3 times a day. That's this is an abbreviation. This is a shorthand abbreviation of 3 times a day. Okay? Now, so we know that's it. So, we have 1.4 mLs per 1 dose. Correct? Because we know 1.4 mLs is 1 dose right there. They're asking for 3 doses, or 3 doses because we know TID is 3. 3 doses, remember we bring doses up, over X. So what's your total dosage for the day? 1.4 times 3 is 4.2 mLs per day. Now, when you guys, now see how I write it this way? This is how you're going to see an order written. 4.2 mLs per day, okay? It won't be like this. It's going to be, and you see it in the hospital or in the, on your orders, it's going to be a slash on the side like this, okay? /, okay? Okay, very good. Now, next, promethazine. This is promethazine. This is for nausea. Okay. Well, here we go. This is our dosage: 50 milligrams per ml. Okay, 50 milligrams per ml. How much is in this vial? 1 ml. There's 1 ml in this vial. Okay? They've ordered 90 milligrams. Okay? So, how many mLs are we going to give this patient in 1 dose? Well, what are we looking for? We're looking for mLs again, correct? Because it's a liquid. Because as we know, it's a injection. Okay? So, and it comes in 1 ml. So you know what I get, sometimes it tells you it's mLs. So you got mLs. So, first equation, mLs, right here. They give you 1 ml over 50 milligrams. They're asking for 90 milligrams over X. So remember, 50 milligrams comes up here because we cross up. So, 1 times 90 is 90 over 50, and what do you get? 1.8 mLs. mLs. Now see, I just did that in my head because I just don't. Okay? So your 1.8 mLs is your dose every 6 hours. Well, how many times does 6 hours go into the day? 1 day. Well, if you want to do it longhand, we'll do it this way. So we're looking for how many doses? Well, 1 dose First we're gonna look for how many mLs you're gonna get a day. So 1.8 mLs, and you just gotta know how many hours go into a day, guys. 6 hours, every 6 hours, how many times is 24? 6 go into 24, 4 times. So, okay, 1.8 mLs, 4 times a day, right? Or four doses, right? So, I'm sorry. 1.8 mLs equals 1 dose. Okay? Well, 1 dose, and they're asking for 4 doses over X, so you get 4 times 1.8. That's 7.2 mLs a day. Per day. Okay? All right. You gotta know how many hours are in a day, guys. That's pretty standard. I hope you can figure that one out. It's gonna make your life a whole lot easier if you don't. All right. Now, if you also want to find out if you want to figure out how to do the hours or how many doses that is, you go 1 dose every 6 hours. There's 24 hours in a day, X. So 24 divided by 6 equals 4. That's how you do it. Okay? Here we go, Cefaclor. Cefaclor. That's our dose. This is how much is in the bottle. Don't worry about that. Okay? So, our order is for 0.25 grams POTID. Okay? So what are we going to do first? Well, we have 250 milligrams here. We got to make that milligrams because it's too small. We want to make it bigger, right? How many decimals are we going to move it? 3. That's going to make it 250 milligrams by mouth 3 times a day. TID. Okay? So, it's hard to do this because of all this mess. I'm going to go over here. So 250 milligrams. We're looking for how many mLs, right? How many mLs per dose? So we got 5 mLs. We're looking for mLs, question mark. So we're going to start. mLs here first because they already given us 5 mLs. And we're looking for mLs. So it's 5 mLs per 250 milligrams, right? That's our given dose. Well, how many mLs are they going to give this guy for the day? All right. Well, they're asking for 250 milligrams per dose. How many mLs is that? 5 mLs, guys. If it's 250 milligrams by mouth, and you got 250 milligrams here, it's 5 ml dose. It's 1 dose, okay? Now, okay, so if we know TID is 3 times a day, how many doses is that? 3 doses, okay? But if you want to see how to do it longhand, we got 5 mLs per dose. We got 3 doses per day. 15 equals 15 mLs per day. Okay? There's how many doses, how much you're gonna give per day. Okay? So they're gonna get, this is an antibiotic, you give that 3 times a day, and you get 15 mLs per day. Alright? Practice, 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 guys. Alright. This one here. You have on hand. Where's your dosage? Right here. Here's what each dosage is. 125 milligrams per 5 mLs. Okay? Alright. How much is in this vial? 50 mLs in that vial. Don't worry about that. Okay? So, I could also ask you, how many doses would you get out of this vial? 50 divided by 5 is what? 10 doses. Okay, here we go. We're going to look for how many grams. So we got 125 milligrams, right? We want to convert that down. 0.2. So 0.2 grams. We got 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram, right? Remember, bring it up. You got 1,000 divided by 0.2. 5,000. It's 200. Oh my God, 5,000. So that's how many milligrams that dosage is if you want to convert it over. Okay, that's how I want to see you convert to get the 200 milligrams. So 0.2 grams equals 200 milligrams. All right, so there's where we're at. So that's our dose, PO every 12 hours, right? That's 200 milligrams every 12 hours, okay? All right, so 200 milligrams, we want to find out how many mLs we're giving. So we're questioning the mLs again. So we got 5 mLs over 125, because that's what they've given us. That's what we have in the pharmacy, okay? Well, now we got to figure out how many mLs is in that 0.2 grams or 200 milligrams that we just converted over, okay? So we bring the 200 milligrams up here, all right, over X. So 5 times 200 is 1,000, divided by 125. That gives you 8 mLs. Eight mLs, okay? So, now, if we got, how many doses is that gonna be? And how much would we give a day? Well, guys, it's pretty self-explanatory. You got 8 mLs, it's twice a day, because 12 hours, 24 into 12 is 2. You take that times 2, but let's do it. You've got 8 mLs per dose, and there's 2 doses in a day. 16. That gives you 16 mLs per day, okay? 16 mLs per day, or 8 mLs per dose, okay? Got it? By accident. One tab is 250 milligrams, right? You ordered 0.25 grams. Well, we're going to convert again. So we got to convert that over 1,000 milligrams. Because that's what we're looking for that. Is 1 gram, 0.25 divided by x equals what? 250 over 1, or x equals 250, okay? So 250 tab, okay? That's what your equivalent dose is. Well, here you go. So one tab is 250. Okay, we just did that, okay? So I'm going over here. One tab all right, so the same thing I did there. Now, that's easy because it's just how it's not liquid, it's not converting, nothing like that. It's just doing your one tab, okay? And how many doses would you give? Doesn't say, does it? Would this be a bad order? Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to go back to the doctor. Here we go. So, digoxin, elixir, pediatric, 25 micrograms. PO daily in the AM for a patient with arrhythmia. Well, micrograms, okay? So remember that little symbol right there? It means micrograms. Do not, if you see that, I won't give you something like that. Micrograms, remember we said don't use that? That's an old label, okay? So look. So they got 25 micrograms PO daily. There's 50 micrograms in one dose because each ml contains 50 micrograms, okay? So it's in the, we know it's an elixir, so it's a mLs, all right? It's liquid. So estimated dose is this. We're looking for mLs, right? Because we got the grams, we got the micrograms, we got all that. We didn't know how many mLs is in that microgram, okay? Well, we know 1 ml equals 50 micrograms. Okay? That's given. Okay? Well, now we don't have to convert because they gave you micrograms here and they're asking for micrograms. So we don't need to convert anything. We're going to keep just like that. Well, so in the 25 micrograms there, so they asked for 25, but our dose is 50. Okay, so 50 micrograms per ml, they're asking, they only want you to give 25. So, you get 25 micrograms, 25 mLs, because micrograms cancels out, so 25 mLs over X. And what do you get? Oh, this is 50, right? So 25 over 50. That gives you 0.5 mLs. It's a half an ml. How would you write that in if you were putting it into a little cup and it only had cc's? Same thing, remember I told you, mLs and cc's are the equivalent. All right? Let's say you have a syringe. Okay? Okay? Syringes go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 ml. Well, I'm going to put cc's. 1 cc. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 0.5. Where would we fill the syringe to? Well, you count the little numbers. Each number is a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you pull the liquid up to here. That would be a half an ml or half a cc. Remember, mLs and cc's are the same. Okay? All right, next. There's your equation. Now you guys know, if you want to have this where you can do this, all you gotta do is go down here to this little, down here at the bottom, where it looks like a little TV on a stand. You gotta download the PowerPoint. Download the PowerPoint. Go like this, click on this. It will download, pulls the download over. Okay, it will open it up. Okay, enable editing. And then go down here where it says, see this little thing, it says slideshow right down here at the bottom. Right here at the bottom it says slideshow. Click on that. And it will open it up to full, where it'll fill in, it'll give you these things, these conversions. And you can just look at it and try to work it out. And then some of them will give you the answer. See, like this one here? You just click on it and it gives you the answer, okay? It's an easy way to practice at home too. Okay. Uh-oh. Oxymorphone. This is a pain medicine. Well, here's our dosage. Here's what's the given dosage. 1 milligram per ml, okay? All right. What's our order? Oxymorphone, 0.015 grams IM every 3 to 4 hours, PRN pain, an narcotic analgesic for a patient with pain. All right. So, 1 milligram per ml. All right. So what are we gonna do? We gotta first convert that up there. That's 0.0015 to a larger number, right? So which way are we gonna go with the decimal? Over. So, but let's do it this way. We know 1,000 milligrams. Well, you know what? Let's just do it this way. I'm going to do it this way for you guys so you can see it. All right? So, our given dose is 1 milligram per ml. Okay? We're looking for ml. Right? So, 1 ml over 1 milligram. Okay? Well, they've given you, we got to convert. So we know 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. Remember, because we got grams here, because we want to know what's going to be less. So 0.0015 grams over X. Remember, that's going to be our mLs, what we're looking for. So you see how I set this up? Instead of converting it all the way down in the beginning, I'm putting the conversion factor into the equation now, okay? So 1 ml equals 1 milligram. That's what we were given. Because we're looking for ml, so remember mLs is going to go first, right? Then we bring milligrams up here, all right? 1 gram up here. Then we have 1,000 times 0.0015. So what do we got? .5 mLs per dose. All right, so we know for every 0.0015, there's 1.5 mLs. That's what the order is. Okay, that's what they're ordering to give you. You're going to get 1.5 mLs per dose. Well, it's ordered every 3 to 4 hours. So, if it's every 3 to 4 hours, okay, how would you do that? How many? Let's say we're going to go every 4 hours. So how many doses would you give in a 24-hour period? Well, what is 4 into 24 hours? Every 4 hours and 24 hours, that's 6 doses, right? So there's 6 doses per day. Now don't get confused, you gotta write it out. 1 day. Okay? Well, so we got, no, sorry, let's go back. All right. You have 1.5 mLs per dose, because we're looking for how many mLs per day. So 1.5 mLs per dose. We're looking for how many doses? 4 into 24 goes how many times? 6. So 6 doses per day. Okay? All right. And then so then we got 1.5 mLs times, what's that? That would be 9 mLs over 1. That's how many mLs you're going to give per day. 9 mLs per day. Okay? If we went with every 4 hours. If you went with every 3 hours, it would be a little bit more because 3 goes in 24 8 times, right? So it'd be 8 times 1.5, and that give you 12 mLs a day. Okay? But see how I put the conversion in here? Now, if you don't want to do the conversion here and you want to convert it on your own, and I will give you that because I think now you should know how to convert over without having to work it out. Okay? I'm more worried about the equation and how much you're going to get in the dosage. That's what we're looking for now. We're not worried about you converting your metrics. If you know how to do your metrics, fine. If you can move your zeros, you know how to move your zeros, go for it. Use it. Let's do it without the conversion factor. So you know that 0.0015, okay, converted to milligrams is what? Which way are we going to move the decimal? If we're going from grams to milligrams, which one? Is milligrams smaller on the measurement or larger? It's smaller, but our number is going to get what? Bigger. So we're going to move the decimal over how many spaces? Because the difference between grams and milligrams is 3 zeros. So we go 1, 2, 3. That gives us 1.5 because we moved it over 3. Okay? So we know it's 1.5 milligrams. IM. All right? That's how you get that. So then 1.5 milligrams is mLs, right? But we gotta put that 1 milligram per ml. 1 milligram. No. 1 ml over 1 milligram. That's our dose, right? That's what's given. So we're looking for how many 1.5 milligrams. How many mLs is in 1.5 milligrams? 1 times 1.5 over 1 equals 1.5 mLs. Okay? Guys, think about it. It's 1 to 1. What would that be? 1 to 1. Okay? That's how many doses, that's how much mLs you're going to get in one dose. Alright? Then, every 4 hours, and you know 4 hours, it goes into 24 watts. Times 6 doses equals 9 mLs per day. Okay? Alright? Alright. Okay. Alright. Let's do, you guys got this. I really think you do. Let's do this one right here real fast because it's grams and milligrams, okay? Alright. So, they've given you the order. The doctor says, I need you to give that patient 0.3 grams of amoxicillin 3 times a day, because his TID is 3 times a day, correct? Remember TID, try 3 times a day. All right. Well, what are we going to do first? Well, I'm going to give you guys a benefit of the doubt. Your 0.3 grams, 0.3 grams equals how many milligrams? Well, again, how many times are we moving that decimal? Because milligrams, from grams to milligrams, how many zeros? 3. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3. Gives you 300 milligrams. Okay? Take that decimal out, make away, take that one, you get 300. Okay? 300. That gives you 300 milligrams. Well, what is our dose that's given? On hand, we have on hand 200 milligrams per 5 mLs. The doctor has ordered 300 milligrams. So how are we going to do that? All right. So we're looking for mLs, correct? How many mLs are we going to give 3 times a day? First line, mLs, right? Well, we know we have 5 mLs over 200. 200 milligrams times 300 milligrams over X. What is this? 5 times 3 is what? 1,500. Or 5 times 300 is 1,500. Divided by 200. That gives you 7.5 mLs per dose. Okay? 7.5 mLs per dose. Okay? You get 7.5 mLs per dose. Well, now we got to figure out how many doses how many mLs you're going to give a day. Well, remember, there's 7.5 mLs in one dose. One dose, okay? How many times is 3 times TID? 3 times a day. What is 24 divided by 3? Every 8 hours, right? So that's 3 doses. So you get every 8 hours you're gonna get 3 doses. So we know there's 3 doses. Okay? So we're looking for mLs. So 7 times 5 is what? 22.5 over 1. That's your 22.5 mLs per day. 22.5 mLs per day. Okay? All right? Good? All right. Okay, guys. That is it. I will do this again for your homework. However, I will not do this until you turn your homework in. Because at this point, I want you guys to do your homework, and then I want to see your work. I want to see where you're lacking. Okay? Because you've got to be able to do this on your own, because in 2 weeks you have your practice final. Already here, guys. It's already here. So 2 weeks you have your practice final. Now, to be clear, let's clear this up one more time. All right? So everybody knows what's going on. And I'll have practice sheets for you guys when you come in. Okay? Now remember, this right here, this sheet here that says provide answers on answer sheet only B, okay? It has 3 sheets. It has the front, the back, then they have the answer sheet with it, okay? You have sections A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, here's your answer sheet. A, B, C, D, and E. That is what gets uploaded into the homework assignment. Okay? However, I want you to upload it, but I need you to bring this in to me, okay, please? It's easier for me to grade it like this than go online and grade it like that. It's just easier for me. That way I still have proof that you did it. If somebody says you didn't do it, I can say this, and here it's uploaded, okay? Please upload it for me, but I will grade it paper-wise, okay? This here, I gave you 6 labels, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is extra credit. This is for extra credit, okay? I want you to tell me on that, and you're gonna convert into how many tabs or how many mLs it's giving you, okay? That's what I want, that's extra credit. And the other one, this one here, the worksheet, I just handed you a worksheet and just gave you the worksheet. That other one is just for your practice, okay? There's like no label on it or nothing, it's just like 2 questions or something, I'm not sure. But that one, other one, so those are the only two you have to turn in, okay? The other one's just for practice, all right? So, I hope this helps you guys. I hope you have a great holiday weekend, and I will see you on Wednesday. I will upload a quiz so you guys can practice, okay? Have a great weekend. I'll see you Wednesday.